Hey, welcome to the Binary Atlas channel. My name is Jonathan and I'm here today to talk to you about my Tesla Model 3. This is a 2019 year model. We bought it in 2021. We're hitting our third year with the vehicle, so I thought today would be a good day on this kind of not too cold and bright and sunny day here in December. I thought I would go over a few things that have impressed me with the car, things that have not impressed me with the car. Daily driving things, care and maintenance on it, and several other things. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please subscribe, hit the like button, and if there are questions you have that I do not answer in this video, please put a comment in the section down below. I would love to hear from you. I reply as often as I can. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so for the sake of the fact that I don't have gimbals and a big rig and all that kind of stuff, and I'm shooting this on my iPhone, I'm going to kind of walk you around the car and show you all the different things that have been a nuisance to me, but some other things that have worked really well. All right, here we go. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to show you, and this is not a problem particularly with a Tesla, this is a problem with probably any vehicle. With my sense of where the vehicle is in the road, I get curb rash, like a lot. You see I've got quite a bit here, all over this rim. I'm also going to blame the majority of this on my wife. I've got it on this tire up here, just a little bit. It's not really something I repair. This is my daily driver. I don't really get embarrassed by cosmetic things like that. So if I know it's going to happen again, I don't see the point in spending a couple $100 to fix the tire when it may happen again. But I do kind of wish maybe the tires were, you know what, I honestly don't know. If you know in the comments below how you can help alleviate that, and one of those comments will probably be, well, be a better driver. So some of the other things, this is something that I love, but is also kind of a nuisance for me. So it's the glass, right? So you've got a glass section that goes across the entire top of the car and all the way down the back. Now, keeping it clean is really a pain in the butt. I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to get it crystal clear and clean and keep it that way. I actually found a YouTube video. This guy does a detail shop, and he had a video on how to clean the glass properly. I'm going to link that down in the description below. You should definitely watch it. But after I've done that, the glass has been crystal clear, and I love it, except for the front glass. The front glass, I doubt it's going to show up on the video. It might. It depends on my angle. So I get a lot of chips. They're not full-fledged crack, although that one looks like it may be becoming one. But they're small little chips, and they haven't been big enough for me to file on insurance and pay the deductible, so I just deal with it. It's not really that big a deal, but yeah, some people may not like how easily the and I don't drive in like a really gravel roads. I don't drive anywhere what I would think chipping would be an extra hazard for me, but for me that has been an issue. That has also happened on several spots of the paint. Again, I'm not too sure if these will show up on camera, but I have got some minor little chips in the paint that, again, I have not really bothered to repair. When you're looking at it, you can't really see it too badly. I did not wash the car this weekend because I wanted to also show you how dirty it gets. So for me, I have got the blue color, as you can see. It doesn't really show dirt all that bad. I don't tend to wash the car as much as I probably should when it comes to wintertime. I take it by the car wash probably once every 2 weeks. I do detail the inside, which I have not done because I'm going to take you through the inside and show you the various places inside the car that for me really get a lot of dirt and are kind of hard for me to clean. So Now, the other place that I find collects a lot of dirt and I have to spend a lot of time detailing when I'm washing the car is my charge port, which doesn't want to open right now. Come on. It's probably because my phone, the app's not up. Whoop. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of dirt in through there. So usually when I detail it, I have to make sure I wipe all this down in here. You can see there is some minor wear on the plastic right here. That's from where I slide the charger in. I really haven't had any problems with this vehicle when it comes to fit and finish or the trim. I know a lot of people have. Now, I bought this vehicle used. It was built in 2019. I bought it from Tesla in 2021. They recertified the vehicle, and I actually picked it up at a dealer. And other than the tires being low, which is a story for another time when we picked it up, I really have no issues with fit and trim. All right, so that's pretty much the ins and outs of the outside. I'm going to take you on kind of a tour of some of the inside features and some of the things I like, some of the things I do not like. Okay, so if it's going to let me open yeah, it's going to let me open. All right, so on the vehicle, this right here, this section, this is probably for a lot of vehicles, but this tends to come out quite a bit on the Tesla right here, and it gets really dirty down in through there. So whenever I do detail the car, I have to make sure that I wipe all that surface down in there, and including on the inside here. Now, the car had carpet in it and had some mats in it. I decided I went on Amazon, and I will try to find that product and link it in the description, but I got some rubber floor mats that are one entire piece. So this one back piece here in the back is one entire piece. I can lift it out and wash it, dry it, and put it back in. Really helps keep the carpets clean. One of the things I do not like, I have kids, right? So this surface right down here gets scuffed up a lot. It really scuffs up. I do my very best to clean it and condition it and do what I can to keep the scuffs down, but with my kids it just happens. Same with the back of the seats. So if you can see the back of the seats, they just gather dirt and scuffs from my kids' shoes. And I get on to them, I talk to them about being more careful with their feet, but they're kids, they don't. Same thing happens here with the kind of the console in the center. There's a lot of scuffs and stuff on top that I do my best to clean and buff out, but they don't all come out. So I think a different material back here and maybe a different material here instead of or a better plastic or a coated plastic, something would have been much better. One of the things I told you I loved was the glass. One of the things I hate is the curvature. So I have a hard time with my hands sometimes. They hurt if I grip things for too long, and it takes a lot of time and pressure and grip for me to clean the glass all the way to the back, especially with that deep groove. That can get to me sometimes. But other than that, I really do like the glass. All right, so I'm going to take you to the front passenger seat. All right, so again, I love the seats. I really do. They're comfortable. They're easy to clean and maintain. My dog rides in here a lot. His nails and stuff have not punctured or ripped the seats yet. It's been almost 3 years, so hopefully we'll maintain that and that won't happen. I've got those same, it was a full set for the entire car, these same rubber inserts here. I absolutely love these. They are incredible. They really, really do help with the mud and stuff where you don't have to worry about cleaning the carpet as much. I can just pull these out and wash them. Right, you have your glove box there. The glove box, again, it tends to gather a lot of scuffs. They're not really scratches. I can clean it and most of them go away, but it does gather a lot of scuffs. And I do not like the center console and how shiny it is. It is the one place in the car that gathers more dirt and dust than anywhere else, and I am constantly trying to keep it clean. The center console is fine. I love the screen. It's easy to clean. It's responsive, works really well. I have no issues there. You have a really deep dash, so I got Deadpool here on a unicorn to help kind of fill up some of that dead space. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you the trunk space since we're walking around this way anyway. So right now, again, as part of that kit I was talking to you guys about, we have a really large rubber mat that I really like this kit. It does really well. I've got my bag in here that stores all my adapters and everything. I got a little side pocket over there. If you are in the need for a little bit of extra storage, the Tesla had this little spot underneath where you can store more stuff. It's really nice. Really helps out when you're doing a big grocery run or something like that. I don't really have any problems with the lid. I can't show you right now because, one, I don't want to purposely try to get stuff wet. But when it's raining and you open your trunk lid, water is going to fall off this side. It's going to hit this. This seals and stuff here are not enough. It's going to go down into your trunk. So if you've got water on top of the car or water flowing this way, it's going to get down to the trunk in this area. You should just be aware of that on this model. If you have other models, other year models of the Model 3, please let me know if you have that same problem with water runoff getting into your trunk, if you have any ways to alleviate that. We got your back camera right here. I don't really have any problems with the back camera being dirty or anything like that. It's usually pretty clear when I try to back up and do anything. All right, so we got your passenger seat here. So really nice. I like it. I use the easy entry. Easy entry, you can set a more further back position for the driver's seat, and then when you get in, it moves back up to your normal driving position, makes it easier to get in and out. I hit 45 recently, and it's kind of sad, but it is nice. It helps me get in and out of the vehicle better. You've got plenty of storage down in here. I've got a thumb drive plugged in. That's how I do the Sentry video off the alarm system. The steering wheel is great. I have no complaints about the steering wheel. It works well. This one isn't heated or anything like that. It's just a standard steering wheel. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift focus here for a minute, and we are going to talk about the software. Okay, so I have let me double check, and I'll even show you exactly what software I have. So I have full self-driving beta. I have the 11.4.8.1. This updated just a little while back, maybe a week and a half ago. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on full self-driving. Full self-driving is okay. You have to pay attention, and I know that it tells you this, right? You have to pay attention, keep your hands on the wheel. There have been many occasions where I have had to take over driving because it does something it shouldn't do or tries to pop out in traffic. I do not trust full self-driving, so I'm constantly keeping an eye on it. I would say I use it on my daily commute, both to and from work. I have about a 30-minute drive. It's all mostly highway. I would say in the span of a week, I might have to disengage it 2 or 3 times throughout the week. It seems like sometimes their updates make it better, then the next update makes it worse, then the next update makes it a little better again. It's like this whole 2-step forward, 1 step back kind of thing. but for the most part, it does well for me. It really does help my daily commute, and I don't really have too many major issues with it. Let's talk about charging. All right, so on my normal day to day, I keep the battery at 75%. I drive to work. I have charging available to me at work, so I charge up back to 75% at work. I drive it home, I plug it in, and charge it back up to 75%. I only go past 75%, like maybe to 100%, when I am going on a trip. That's not that often, so I don't do that often. I recently read a white paper. I will try to have a link for that down in the description below. A university did a major study on lithium-ion batteries, and they come up with that your battery could last easily 20, 30 years if you maintained a 75% state of charge and a discharge rate of about 10, 15% below that. So if you were on your daily commute constantly going between, maybe 50, 55% charge to 75% charge every day, just back and forth, that would be perfect to help maintain your battery, and it's going to last a really long time. A lot of people have asked me questions on what I think about having to replace my battery in a couple of years. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that. My next vehicle is going to be a truck. I'm waiting to see how the electric truck market shifts around this next year before I decide on which one I'm going to get. But this car will go to my wife, and I have no concerns that this car isn't going to last a very, very long time. You don't really have that much maintenance on it. Windshield washer fluid. I do change out the tires. So that's the next thing I kind of want to talk to you guys about. Let's talk about the tires. All right, so I'm going to flip this thing around a little bit, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the tires. Okay, so I've been asked this question because there's a lot of stuff out on the internet that say if you have an electric vehicle that it really wears on the tires, and I honestly don't see that. Now, there's a lot of torque in this vehicle, and it's not just my Tesla. There are faster Teslas. I've just got the standard range plus package. It's not the performance package. So you can, if you don't do this right, you could wear your tires out really quickly. If I punch the accelerator down all the way to the floor, this thing gets up and goes. It will put you to the back of your seat. So if you did that a lot, then yes, you're going to wear out your tires a lot quicker than you would on a standard vehicle. I don't do that, okay? I'm a pretty conservative driver. I stay mostly the speed limit, go a little over the speed limit sometimes. I don't punch it unless I really have to, like I'm in a situation where I'm about to get hit and I need to get out of the way or something like that. I will do it for fun on occasion if I'm wanting to give somebody, there are passengers asking me and I want to give them a little thrill, and I step on the accelerator. Or if the kids are in the back of the car and they don't like it, it scares them. So it's kind of funny sometimes to do it for them. But I don't do that normally, right? So every 5,000 miles, I take my tires in for a rotation. I've never been told by the tire place that my tires are wearing prematurely. And then I just buy standard all-season tires. I don't buy any kind of special tire or performance tire. I don't do nitrogen or, any of that kind of stuff. I just have your standard tire. I get good range on that. So let's segue. That's a really good segue. Let's segue into what my range is now after owning this car for 3 years. So like I said at the start of the video, this is a 2019. Bought it in 2021. It was a lease return. Right now, if I charge to 100%, I get 210 miles. When I first got the car 3 years ago, that was 220. So I have had some degradation. I've lost, 25 miles of range, but I don't notice it. Like I said, my day-to-day, I have plenty of charge to get to and from work. That is not a problem. When I go on trips, and my family and I have been on several trips with it. We have one big one we went to the Gulf. It was about a 13-hour trip for us with all the stopping to charge. But we had no range anxiety. There was the car about to die because we couldn't get to a charging station. With the Tesla, there were plenty of charging stations along the way, and it was kind of nice to stop every now and then. And you charge the car up. I think the longest I've ever charged in this car is about 30 minutes. Because you're not supposed to charge to 100%. You charge to 100% when you start your drive, right? So I'm at home, I'm on my charger, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. You charge it up to 100%, you start your trip. The computer in the car is going to tell you where you need to stop and for how long, and how long you need to charge to get to the next charging station. So I'll stop, say, Little Rock. It'll tell me I need to charge for 15 minutes. And then I'll stop at the next station. It'll tell me I need to charge for 10. I'll stop at the next station, and it'll tell me I got to charge for 30 minutes because we're further away to get to the next station. But we have never been on a trip where it said that you couldn't make your next destination, right? A lot of the times on that final charge before we get to our destination, I'll charge for longer just so we have a little extra juice to toot around town and do things in town before we start our trip back. On that particular trip, we had rented a beach house, and it didn't have a charging station, but they had a 110 in the carport, and we took our mobile charger with us, and we plugged into 110, and since we were going to be there for a week, it had plenty of time to charge back up. That charging was not an issue. It was great. All right, now I'm going to take you over here. I'm going to flip the camera, and we're going to show you some of how I charge here at home. All right, welcome to my charging setup. Yes, this is my Tesla Powerwall. I am planning on doing a big video about that here pretty soon, but we're not doing it on this video. All right, so what I did is I put in a box in my carport that is basically, this is an RV outlet, and it has a NEMA 1450 outlet on it. And I've got an adapter that goes to my mobile charger. My mobile charger just kind of sits here, and then when I need to use it, I have this top fit adapter for the wall so that I can wrap up the cord and keep it out of the way and out of the floor. It works really well. I ran a 50 amp breaker to this. It usually uses about 30 amps and charges at about 30 or so miles an hour. So it's very easily, if I pulled in at home with my battery at close to nothing, I could easily charge it back up overnight. It's not really a problem for me. Now, when we end up doing another electric vehicle, so this car is our Ford Fusion Hybrid. We've had it for a very long time. Right now, it charges on just 110. I actually got the cord going into my utility room over here, just plugged into your standard utility outlet. But when I end up getting an EV truck, I'm going to have to rethink my whole charging situation in here. The truck, considering it's bigger, it's probably going to have to park on that side of the carport. I'm probably going to have to clean all that mess out up there, and I'm probably going to have to put some kind of charging outlet on the wall over there for it. Haven't really thought about that too much because I'm still trying to figure out what truck I want to get. I don't know if I'm going to do the Cybertruck. It was a lot more expensive than I counted on when they launched it a couple of weeks ago. So might do the Lightning. Something my wife and I are going to discuss when it comes maybe sometime next year. All right, so I'm going to go over the front trunk, or the frunk. There's several things going on in here. I'm actually going to remove a piece and talk to you about a modification I made on the vehicle. So what you have is, it's not a ton of storage, it's really not, but it is a little bit of storage and it does help. Right here you have your tow hook. That stays like buckled down in there if you ever need to be towed. You've got a light down in here, it helps you at night. This whole thing can come out, so you've got these little spots right here where you can get down there and unbolt it if you want to. And what that does is you can actually take this whole tub out, which I did, and I want to talk to you about here in a minute. So you have your windshield washer fluid, it goes in right up there. This whole thing right here pops out, and I'm going to go ahead and pop that out for you real quick. If you need to get into any of the other fluids, you can. Your 12-volt battery is right here. Your Has some hydraulic fluid is here. What is that? Yeah, I think that's your brake fluid. You got that here. I don't use the brake much. So one of the things I wanted to show you is this section right here. So I had a really bad problem with my Model 3, the 2019 version, stinking. And what would happen is whenever it would sit for a while and you would turn the heater or the air on, the air blowing through would really stink. How I fought that for a long time is I would remove a section of the side panel on the passenger side on the inside of the car, and I'd remove the filter and replace the filter, right? Come to find out, what was happening is water was getting down to this area down in here, and down in there is your air intake for your vent. And water would get in there, and it would pump the water down into the air filter. The air filter would get wet, and it would just start to stink. So one of the modifications I made is there is a big plastic piece. It goes down from this down to the vent intake, and it has a drain hole on it that is supposed to drain all the water out, but it didn't. So what I did is I removed it. It was quite the chore. So if you're going to do that yourself, watch some YouTube videos on how to do it. It took me about 45 minutes, and I finally got it out and everything. And so now, instead of sucking air from up here where water was getting in, it just sucks air from the firewall, which is fine. A lot of vehicles do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And now I don't get moisture into the filter anymore. I also try to make sure that if I am washing the car, especially if I'm power washing it or if I'm going through a car wash, I turn on car wash mode. Car wash mode closes a paddle that goes over the air intake so that no water gets in there. All right, so you want to make sure that you enter car wash mode if you're going through a car wash, or if you're power washing it yourself. If you don't want to do that, you can also put it on air recirculation inside instead of outside air, and that'll also close that vent off. You just want to make sure that you get no moisture on the inside to get to that filter. Otherwise, that's where that stink problem comes from. I have not had a problem with the smell since I made this adjustment, and it's been great. All right, so what I'm going to show you guys now is the summon feature. This is a really great feature. I love using it. It sometimes glitches out and it sometimes works well. I have never used the whole summon thing in a parking lot where it comes and it unparks itself and drives around and picks you up. But I do use this feature, especially when I want to back the car out to clean it or to wash it or anything like that. So all I have to do is stand near the vehicle, and I can hit the back button and hold it down. The car is going to close its mirrors, and it's going to slowly start backing up, or it's going to glitch out. So you guys get to see the fun glitch in the system. All right, I'm going to try it again. I use this feature a lot whenever I need to move the vehicle a small amount of distance, and I don't have to worry about getting in and out of the vehicle to do it. All right, when I'm ready for it to stop, I just let go and the car stops. Now, when I'm ready to put the car back up, I just go the opposite direction. Now, summon, it'll say stopping and it'll be spinning and doing some things. Sometimes you have to back out of summon, go back into it. It'll reconnect to the car. And this is one of those bugs that I've been telling you about. The software has some issues, and I'm hoping they really work on summon in the next couple of updates since I use it so often. And then it's going to creep forward. Oh, lovely. The neighbor's dog decides to bark while I'm doing a video. And now my dogs are barking because of the dog. And now it's parked. All right, so that is the summon feature. All right. It's getting kind of chilly, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up. So I'm going to kind of give you some of my summed up thoughts on not just the Tesla, but electric vehicles in general. So I have really enjoyed owning an electric vehicle. I don't pay a lot for electricity here. I live in Arkansas. My electricity here at home runs about 10 cents a kilowatt hour. I think it might have went up to 11 cents. So it was a lot cheaper than gas for me. That is not the case for everybody. It depends on the electrical rates where you live. But I have really enjoyed not having to go to a gas station to get gas. I don't have to worry about oil prices. I don't have to worry about gas being really expensive on a holiday weekend. None of that stuff. And that has been really great. I really do enjoy the torque and the power that comes with this vehicle. Like I said, this is just a standard Model 3. I didn't buy performance, but I get, it is so different when you come from an ICE vehicle to electric. I've never owned an ICE vehicle that was built for performance, right? I've never owned any kind of souped up Mustang or hot rod or anything like that. So this was my first experience with when you hit the accelerator, getting that instant torque. It was a thrill. It thrills me even to this day. Every time I do it, I love it. So I really do enjoy that aspect of it. The wife and kids love it. She takes it to shop and loves all the storage space in the back. The kids love it on trips with all the connectivity options. You have Netflix in the front and YouTube and different things you can play while you're sitting at the charging station. It really is a joy to drive. It's great to take on trips. And I'm looking forward to my next electric vehicle. I'm looking forward to my next electric truck. Many years ago, I owned an F-150 Lariat, and it killed me on gas. I was paying $200 or $300 a month in gas. I do miss having a truck, so eventually I want to go back to that, and I'm looking forward to the next year or two. The truck wars are really heating up when it comes to the EV space, so I'm looking forward to figuring out which truck is right for me. I'll definitely make a video on it for you guys. A lot of the stigma and a lot of the things you read online, it's just clickbait to get you to read the article, or they're just trying to get a rise out of you. There's nothing wrong with EVs. There's nothing wrong with owning an ICE vehicle. If EVs aren't your thing and you want to own a gasoline-powered vehicle, more power to you. I just don't want you to think that there is something wrong with electric vehicles, and that's what prevents you from test driving one or maybe getting one for yourself. Tesla gets a lot of bad press. There was this big safety recall. They sent out, the safety recall wasn't where you had to take the vehicle in. It was a software update because of all the wrecks that have happened with people using full self-driving. The government basically is cracking down, making Tesla do more software updates. Honestly, I don't believe they did the right thing. It makes using full self-driving harder for me on my daily commute. And if you really look at the stories and you try to get to the facts of the stories of when these crashes happen, you'll notice that it's always the driver not paying attention. You're supposed to pay attention when you're using full self-driving. It says it right on the agreement when you agree to install the software. They're upfront about the fact that it's beta software and you need to be alert to avoid getting into a wreck. So these people that are getting into wrecks, it's the person's fault. It's not the vehicle. So don't let some of those news stories also dissuade you from it. Now, I will say that if it's worth paying, if you buy a brand new Tesla, if it's worth paying the extra, I'm not sure what they charge for it now. It was $10,000 back when I got mine, but I think it may be $12,000 or $13,000. I honestly can't tell you right now if it's worth it to pay that much extra to have the full self-driving capability on the Tesla. The software is not there. I don't know if it's ever going to get there, to be honest. I enjoy it because as a technology guy, I enjoy testing things and helping debug things, and I send in my reports whenever I have to disengage a Tesla in hopes that I can help them make it better. But I don't know if they're ever going to crack the problem of full self-driving. If they do, it'd be incredible. But I wouldn't let that be a deciding factor for you. If you're interested in an electric vehicle, if you're interested in a Tesla, go take a look at one. You can always make the decision on if you want full self-driving based on if you can afford it or not, right? You don't have to make your decision based on if it's a needed feature. You can make that a monetary decision, right? But but there's other companies coming up. You've got Rivian, you've got Ford. I've heard the Mustang Mach-E is really nice as a sedan. There's lots of companies coming up now, and it's not just Tesla. So hopefully here pretty soon I'll be doing a review on the Bolt EUV. I think Chevy is doing, I'm hearing good things about the Bolt, so I think Chevy's doing some really good things there. So anyway, again, if you have any questions, concerns, things you want to talk about, please put your comments down below. I would love to interact and talk with you about some things. This has been Jonathan. I appreciate you tuning into the Binary Atlas channel, and I will see you guys next time.